Las Vegas, Nevada, Caesar's Palace, March 27, 1993. Saturday evening, 6:45 in the evening. 2 hours and 15 minutes before the main event. The backstage area of the most famous boxing venue in the world is a maze of concrete corridors, flickering fluorescent lights, and the distant thunder of thousands of people filing into their seats above. This is where legends are made, and where legends are broken. This is where fighters prepare their bodies and their minds for the violence that waits under the bright lights. And tonight, in a small training room tucked away from the cameras and the crowds, Tommy Morrison is alone. Tommy Morrison, 23 years old, 6 feet 2 inches tall, 225 pounds of raw power and natural talent. The great white hope of heavyweight boxing, the grandson of John Wayne, or so the story goes. The kid from Oklahoma who hits like a freight train and moves like a middleweight. He has won 35 professional fights. He has lost 2. He has knocked out 29 men. He is young, hungry, unafraid. He is being groomed for a title shot. He is 1 win away from fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world. Tonight, he faces a journeyman opponent, a tough fighter, a durable fighter, but not a dangerous one. This should be an easy night, a showcase, a stepping stone. Tommy is supposed to win, supposed to look good doing it, supposed to remind the boxing world that he is the future. But nothing in boxing is ever that simple. Tommy is alone in the training room. His trainer left 10 minutes ago to check on the ring setup. His cut man went to get ice. His manager is somewhere in the arena dealing with promoters and television executives. For the first time in hours, Tommy is by himself. He sits on a wooden bench against the wall, wearing gray sweatpants and a white tank top. His hands are already wrapped. White tape covers his knuckles, his wrists, his forearms. He is loose, relaxed, breathing slowly. His body is ready. His mind is clear. He has done this 37 times before. He knows the routine. The nervousness is gone. The adrenaline is controlled. He is in the zone, that mental space where fighters go before they step into the ring. A space where nothing exists except the fight, the opponent, the task ahead. He is alone, and he is ready. Then the door opens. Tommy does not look up immediately. He assumes it is his trainer returning, or his cut man with the ice. But the footsteps are different. Slow, deliberate, accompanied by the sound of expensive leather shoes on concrete. Not the quick, purposeful steps of a trainer. Something else. Something that makes Tommy's instincts fire a warning signal. He looks up. 3 men have entered the room. 2 of them are large, thick-necked, wearing dark suits and expressionless faces. Security. Muscle. Men who are paid to stand and look dangerous. But it is the 3rd man who commands attention. He is shorter, older, maybe 55 years old, with silver hair slicked back, a tailored charcoal suit that probably costs more than Tommy's entire purse for tonight, and a face that has seen things most people cannot imagine. His eyes are cold, calculating, the eyes of a man who has made decisions that ruin lives and never lost sleep over it. Tommy does not know this man personally, but he knows who he is. Everyone in boxing knows who he is. Salvatore Gambino, not a promoter, not a manager, not a trainer. Something else entirely. A man with connections, a man with power, a man whose name is whispered in locker rooms and hotel bars, always with a mixture of fear and respect. A man who represents interests that do not appear on contracts or paperwork. Interests that operate in shadows, that influence outcomes, that turn boxing from a sport into a business transaction. Tommy has never met Gambino face to face. He has never been approached, never been contacted. Until now. Gambino steps into the room. The two security men remain by the door, blocking it, making it clear that this conversation is not optional. Gambino looks at Tommy with the expression of a man evaluating a piece of property. Not hostile, not friendly, just assessing. He does not introduce himself. No pleasantries, no small talk. He simply speaks, his voice quiet but carrying absolute authority. "Mr. Morrison," he says, "you have a very promising career ahead of you. A title shot within the year, maybe 2 at most. Endorsements, pay-per-view points, legacy, everything a fighter dreams of." Tommy does not respond. He sits on the bench, watching, waiting. His body language is relaxed, but his mind is now fully alert. Something is wrong. Something is very wrong. Gambino continues, his tone conversational, almost paternal. It would be a shame if something interfered with that future. If something happened that derailed all that potential. Tommy's jaw tightens slightly, but he still does not speak. Gambino takes a few steps closer, his hands clasped in front of him, the posture of a man delivering a business proposal. "Tonight's fight," Gambino says, "is not as straightforward as you think. There are people who have invested money, significant money, on a specific outcome, an outcome that does not involve you winning." Tommy feels his heart rate spike, but his face remains neutral. He has heard rumors about this kind of thing his entire career. Fixed fights, throne matches, fighters taking dives for payouts or threats. But it has never touched him. He has never been approached. Until now. Gambino lets the words hang in the air for a moment. Then he delivers the line that changes everything. "Your mother," Gambino says, his voice still calm, still pleasant, "lives in Jay, Oklahoma. 1247 Elm Street. Small house, blue shutters, white fence. She lives alone since your father passed. Very nice woman, from what I understand. Teaches 2nd grade at the elementary school." The blood drains from Tommy's face. Not from fear, from rage. Pure, white-hot rage that floods his system so fast it takes every ounce of discipline not to explode off the bench and put his fist through Gambino's skull. But he does not move. Not yet. Because moving now, reacting now, would be exactly what Gambino expects. Exactly what he wants. Proof that the threat works. Proof that Tommy can be controlled. So Tommy sits. He stares at Gambino. And he waits. Gambino continues, oblivious to the storm building inside the young fighter in front of him. "You are not winning tonight, Mr. Morrison. You are going to lose. You can lose on points, you can take a dive, you can claim an injury. I do not care how, but you are not winning. And if you choose to ignore this very simple instruction, well, accidents happen. Houses catch fire. Cars have brake failures. People disappear. You understand what I am telling you." The room is silent. The two security men by the door stand motionless. Gambino stands in the center of the room, waiting for Tommy's response. Waiting for the fear, the negotiation, the acceptance. This is how it always goes. You deliver the threat. The fighter realizes he has no choice, and he complies. Fear is the most effective currency in the world. But Tommy Morrison does not respond the way Gambino expects. Tommy stands up. Slowly. Deliberately. He is 3 inches taller than Gambino and 70 pounds heavier. His hands, wrapped in white tape, hang at his sides. He walks toward Gambino, closing the distance until he is so close that Gambino can smell the sweat and adrenaline coming off him. The two security men tense, their hands moving inside their jackets, ready to intervene. But Tommy does not swing. He does not shout. He simply looks down at Gambino, and when he speaks, his voice is barely above a whisper. But it carries a weight that makes Gambino's confident expression falter for the first time. "If anything happens to her," Tommy says, each word deliberate, "if she gets so much as a phone call that scares her, if a car drives past her house too slow, if anything, and I mean anything, happens to my mother, there is not a place on this planet where you can hide from me." Tommy leans in closer, his eyes locked on Gambino's. "I am not going to call the police. I am not going to hire lawyers. I am going to find you myself. And when I do, I am not going to use a gun or a knife or anything quick. I am going to use my hands. These hands. The ones that have knocked out 29 professional fighters. The ones that hit harder than anyone you have ever threatened. And I am going to take my time." The room has gone completely silent. Even the two security men have stopped moving. Gambino's face, which moments ago was calm and controlled, now shows the first crack of uncertainty. Because what he is seeing in Tommy Morrison's eyes is not fear. It is not compliance. It is a promise. A promise delivered by a man who has spent his entire life training to hurt people with his bare hands. A man who is now being told that the one person he loves most in the world is in danger. Tommy takes a half step back, and then he does something that nobody in the room expects. He smiles. Not a friendly smile. Not a nervous smile. A cold, calculated smile that does not reach his eyes. A smile that says, "I know something you do not." "And I am going to win today," Tommy says, his voice now louder, more confident. "I am going to walk into that ring in 2 hours, and I am going to knock my opponent out, fast. And when I do, I am going to point at you, wherever you are sitting. Front row, back row, I will find you. And everyone in that arena is going to see me point at you. And you are going to know. And everyone around you is going to wonder, why did Tommy Morrison just point at that man?" Tommy turns away from Gambino, walks back to the bench, sits down, and looks straight ahead, as if the conversation is over. As if Gambino and his security men are no longer in the room. The dismissal is absolute. Gambino stands there for a moment, his mind trying to process what just happened. He came into this room with all the power. He delivered the threat. He held all the cards. But somehow, in the span of 2 minutes, a 23-year-old fighter from Oklahoma just flipped the entire situation. Gambino's face hardens. He is not used to being threatened. He is not used to being dismissed. But he is also smart enough to recognize something dangerous when he sees it. And what he sees in Tommy Morrison right now is not a frightened kid who will take a dive. What he sees is a weapon that has just been aimed directly at him. Gambino does not respond. He simply turns and walks toward the door. The two security men follow. As they reach the exit, Gambino pauses, looks back at Tommy one last time. "You are making a mistake," he says quietly. Tommy does not look at him. He just stares straight ahead, his breathing calm, his hands resting on his knees. The door closes. Tommy is alone again. But now the room feels different. The air is electric. The adrenaline that he had controlled, channeled, focused, is now a roaring fire inside him. Not fear, not nervousness, rage, pure, focused, controlled rage. The kind of rage that makes fighters dangerous. The kind that turns a good fighter into an unstoppable force. 2 hours later, Tommy Morrison walks through the tunnel toward the ring. The crowd roars. 30,000 people packed into Caesar's palace, screaming, cheering. the noise so loud it feels like a physical force. Tommy does not hear any of it. He is locked in. His mind is clear. His body is ready. His trainer is talking to him, giving last-minute instructions, but Tommy is not listening. He does not need instructions. He knows exactly what he is going to do. He climbs through the ropes, enters the ring. The lights are blinding. The opponent is already there, bouncing, shadow boxing, looking confident. Tommy does not look at him. His eyes scan the crowd. Front rows, VIP section. And then he sees him. Gambino, sitting 4 rows back, surrounded by men in suits, watching with that same cold, calculating expression. Their eyes meet across the distance. Gambino does not smile, does not nod, just watches. Tommy looks away. The referee calls both fighters to the center, gives instructions. Touch gloves. The opponent extends his gloves. Tommy taps them once. No emotion, no respect. Just procedure. The bell rings. Round 1 is a storm. Tommy comes out like a man possessed. He is not boxing. He is hunting. His opponent throws a jab. Tommy slips it, steps inside, and unleashes a combination that rocks the man backward. Left hook to the body. Right uppercut. Left hook to the head. The opponent covers up, tries to clinch, but Tommy pushes him off and keeps coming. The crowd is on its feet. This is not the calculated, patient Tommy Morrison they expected. This is something else, something raw and violent and unstoppable. The opponent survives the round, but barely. He goes back to his corner looking confused, hurt, overwhelmed. Round 2 begins. Tommy walks out of his corner with the same intensity. No feeling out process, no strategy, just aggression. 30 seconds into the round, he sees his opening. The opponent drops his right hand for a fraction of a second. Tommy fires a left hook that travels 6 inches and lands flush on the jaw. The sound echoes through the arena. The opponent's legs go stiff. His eyes roll back. He falls backward, crashes to the canvas, unconscious before he hits the ground. The referee does not even count. He waves it off immediately. Knockout. Second round. 32 seconds. The crowd explodes. Tommy Morrison does not celebrate. He does not raise his arms. He does not jump or scream or acknowledge the cheering. He walks to the ropes, leans over, and points. His arm extended, his finger aimed directly at the 4th row. Directly at Salvatore Gambino. 30,000 people follow his finger. Cameras zoom in. Commentators ask what is happening. Who is he pointing at? Why? Tommy holds the point for 3 seconds. Long enough for everyone to see. Long enough for Gambino to understand. Then Tommy drops his arm, turns away, and walks back to his corner. Gambino sits motionless in his seat. His face is unreadable, but the men around him have noticed. They are looking at him now, wondering, questioning. The power dynamic has shifted. The threat has been flipped. Tommy Morrison just told the entire world, without saying a word, that he cannot be controlled, cannot be bought, cannot be threatened. And Salvatore Gambino, the man who controls outcomes, who manipulates results, who instills fear, just learned that some men cannot be broken. Some men fight back, and some men win.